this is what I have was it's a common law remedy with replace
Common law what? Okay? What's common law?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, people have been using that common law out here. What is common law? Common law is what is being taken place. Statutory law is what you have to basically comply with. Okay? Now, the codes and regulations and everything else, but you have to understand statutory law and then whether it was properly enacted or not. Okay? Common law, people use that out here, and the patriots have used that, and basically the judge sits here and says, what the hell are you talking about? Common law right now is all these codes and everything. In my opinion, that's what's common to me. See, you use a phrase like common law, and, well, what law are you really referring to? You cut your own throat when you do stuff like that.
Right.
I didn't see it mentioned in some...
the word natural law is entirely different.
Yep.
That's what I should have said. That's better. Now you really defined it. Okay.
But there again, natural law only covers certain items. Okay? Constitutional law, basically what basically was founded by this country, and the controls over the government, and the statutory laws are supposed to be controlling the government. And then whether they've been properly enacted or not.
Well, what gets me is a bankruptcy causing you to go in to that, and you don't have a unilateral contract. You don't have the rights there to make a buyback.
You volunteered into it, okay?
Yeah, volunteer, yeah.
Either your guardians or you volunteered into everything out here. They cannot force you into it.
Yeah, I get that. I understand that very well. But I've been using the premise of the two grantors and made me the grantee, and then when they died, I'm the grantor, and I can take control of that trust because I'm the age of the majority.
No, you can't take it until basically you get this thing processed through the right way. Okay?
Correct. Yeah.
That's why you need to read about this trust patent and about what we found in the in the statutes about the Indians. Like I put out the other day, walk like an Indian. Okay, there was a song out there, walk like an Egyptian, back in the 60s. That basically, there was sort of a play on words that basically you had to understand what was being said there. The path, who was here first? The white man or the Indian? Who made the paths? The Indians. The Cherokee Nation, basically all these operations were founded upon the Bible. They were a combination of the last legion of Rome that came over from England about 500 A.D. See, people don't know history, and then they shoot their mouth off all about this stuff and never know the basics of where it's at. Now, what I had Tom post up there last night was going over the word definitions that I talked about before, and how your commercial person is the trustor. So you got to have a trust. Well, it's a trust patent. And then all of these items out here, these driver's license and everything else, they are basically, he is the insured and you are the insurer on that contract. But you can revoke being the insurer on those contracts, and then basically they have to terminate that domestic insurance policy. And see, that's all these contracts out here, and they're called mortmains, okay? An insurance contract is a mortmain. It is holding assets out of circulation for the corporation's benefit, not for yours. I've said for years, insurance is a bad deal. Just like going out to Vegas and taking insurance at the blackjack table, the odds against you are 17 to 1. Or 17%. It's a high, you're not going to win. You take insurance every time, and basically you're going to get wore down to nothing very quickly. And see, that's what they've done. But they're holding the assets in a dead man's hand, a mortmain, under your fictional person. You have to get the estate EIN over those. Now you come in with your estate EIN. You're the executor over him. Using your estate EIN, order those to be processed, the funds to be processed out, and settle the account. You have to go to the allotment warden. Normally, the chief judge of the tribe, of the district. The Indian agent, if you want to look at it from that regards. We're operating under treaty law that dates all the way back to 1730 with the Treaty of Delaware, to where the white freedman became a member of the Indian nation. So our tribe is the freedman tribe. And that can cover yellow, pink, purple, polka dot, white, whatever. We're a catch-all tribe. The Heinz 57 of America. You need to go over those words and understand them. Okay? Most all of them were referring to Indians in the process about restrictions, restricted allotments, restricted lands, and then basically restrictive endorsement. That's what you need to do when you do a transfer, like for these insurance policies, driver's license, traffic tickets, property taxes, and everything else. But you have to process those into the local district Indian agent or warden, allotment warden, or insurance warden, however you want to look at it. Then if they don't comply, you inform the Department of Interior. You can go up to the chief allotment warden at your federal district court, the courthouse. We have all these instruments are either allotment certificate or allotment notes. If you've got your EIN for your estate, you're good to go on that. Your foreign grantor trust, you need to have that number in the process to move the funds out of your to trust patents. But you also need to have your banker's EIN in the process. There's a big difference between freedman and free man. You are emancipated when you turn 21. You are set free. Okay? And that is one of the restrictive allotments that you have, alienations against your trust patents. The alienations that are in place against your trust patents are one of age, the other of competency. You have to meet both of those categories. You have to show that you're competent in understanding what you're doing. Alienation is basically also a mental derangement. That's right in the dictionary. And see, you've got to have the authorization. You have to go to the Indian agent or chief allotment warden and get him to verify that he has no problem, that his investigation, that he is satisfied with the facts and claims that you are the lawful Allottee and that your restrictions are now to be, and alienations are to be removed. Both for the best interest of you as the Allottee and the nation. Always bring the nation in there too, because the nation is affected by all of this. And what they're doing is harming the nation constantly. Mm-hmm. And then basically after the allotment warden is satisfied or the Indian agent is satisfied, then they have to send their findings in writing to the Secretary of Interior for the final official approval to have your trust patents transferred over to you. I also addressed all of the state and the Social Security and all those others out there, the church claims under the baptismal certificate and the Church of Rome, usage of our assets that are being held in mortmain, a total violation of the mortmain statutes. preventing an uneconomic accumulation of property in control of corporations, either lay or ecclesiastical.
Mm.
Court case right there in the U.S., documented. So now that judge is going to have those processed and pick up all those documents from you. You're going to endorse those over. Then you will go into the private. You will get a private driver's license, but by way of your private bank. You're going to have all property registered under your private bank. As a non-profit bank, it's just a holding bank, and it's a tax-exempt bank. Yeah, if it doesn't have any profits, then there is no taxes that can be levied against it. Taxes are only on profit. Of the document that I had Tom post last night, Now Walk Like an Indian, I took 3 different paragraphs pretty much right out of that 1402, chapter 1402, dated 1904. When you go into the statutes at large, you got to know what you're looking for, okay? There may be a chapter 1402 in 1903, 1904, and 1905. You got to make sure you're on the right 1402 chapter. People look and see things, but they don't see things. And then it gave perfect examples, and this was all about the Indians. So we follow the path and walk like the Indians. They've already got the path laid down here. So let's follow behind them. That's what Jesus came to show us, was the way and the path. He didn't tell us we had to go out and make our own damn path and go off right off the cliff. The people couldn't understand what path he was on because they couldn't understand the metaphors that he was using. Just like the patriots out here couldn't get anything through their mind to think, hey, the Indians have already done this, let's go and check them out. They're getting allotments. We should be getting allotments too for the usage of the American continent here by the corporations. Especially if you're a third-generation American. I've stated before that everything operates in threes out here. Therefore, you have to have your 3 EINs, your 3 private banking routing EINs. One as the individual banker, one for your estate items, and one for your trust items. So you are a private bank, estate, and trust. Now you have all 3 areas covered. I don't think it can be much simpler than that. I sent mine in, basically, and I gave them on the fax deal, contact me within 3 hours. If there is a problem with my American Allottee's request. I didn't hear from him, so I guess there is no problem. I gave them the instructions of what they had to do now. Now they have to follow those instructions. And it's documented by statutory law. Especially when it comes down to trust patent. And see, you're not going to find in the dictionaries trust patent. You have to go in and piecemeal some of these together. Okay, hopefully you guys got the word definitions. You looked those over, tried to understand what they're saying, and then how that basically when we get this in, and we're coming in as the Allottee, we're going to be given our allotment of America. It has to be there, because we had to have real substance out here for the corporations to be able to utilize and write bonds out there. They can't write a bond on nothing. Now, the banks can try and get away with some of this stuff, creating money out of thin air, but basically it's really an impossibility. You can't create something out of nothing. If that was the case, this whole damn country would have collapsed years ago as soon as the Federal Reserve started operations. They have to have substance as the foundation in their endeavors. But they get it from us, and then they hide it away, making you think you don't have anything, that you're the debtor out here in all cases. No, you're not. The debt is owed to we the people. It's credit, debt credits that are owed to us from the corporations, from these dead hands or these mortmain accounts. That's the national debt that's out here. It's all these insurance, domestic insurance, mortmain contracts. Some people may have gotten out without doing all this, but I doubt that they really understand what they're doing, and basically I would rather be more prepared and do it the right way and have the right understanding than basically to get caught later on with my pants down around my ankles. So it's up to you guys. I've given you the layout here. I've given you the word definitions. I've given you the statutes to go and look up. None of this is in the codes. Yes, trying to get the EINs is a little confusing online, but there is workarounds that you can basically come in and override their endeavors. Either that or you just go and fill out the form, download the form, and send it in by fax or by mail to them. read the instructions on contacting or sending an SS4 into it. It's right there online. If it's online and it says you can do this, then you can do this. Don't go by what they say on the phone. The phone people will lie to you almost 99% of the time. Then half the time you're talking to a damn machine anymore out here, so basically all machines lie. Okay, I don't know what else. Basically, I could pretty much cover. I mean, you read the document, it should be almost self-explanatory. So, right. At this point in time, I'm going to open it up for any questions or anything that people have. And by God, you better ask the damn question. Show that you're alive, okay? You're going to have to do that sooner or later.
Hey, I'm here. I got on late, but I'm here. Hi, Patrick.
Okay.
One of the things that I wanted to share what you taught before, but didn't totally say, was the alienation and mortmain is an important topic, but for example, our certificate of title on our cars or houses or whatever, that is alienated property and mortmain, and you said before that they have bonds and they should be paying the insurance or the renewals or any of that stuff with the profits from the bonds on those certificates. That's a good understanding to understand there.
Right. And see, basically the first 3 years on most all things, and basically these are also held under like a state of mortgage on these process. So like on your certificate of title to your vehicle, basically they have the certificate. You paid insurance, and basically you're buying a second insurance, and you go online with the Social Security, like with Medicare, and it tells you right there when you're talking to the Medicare office, don't sign up with any other. You've got this insurance. You're paying for another insurance. You're double insuring yourself. I mean, that's like you go out and have a house, and you go out to this insurance company, put an insurance policy against the house, and you go to another insurance company, put another insurance policy against the house, and then basically, lo and behold, the house burns down. Now you're trying to collect from about 4 or 5 different insurance companies. They will come after you on that damn deal. The insurance companies will, okay?
Yeah, right.
They're going to make out in the damn deal, but basically they're going to come after you. You're the one that's going to end up in jail because of violation of the laws in that regards. Even though they sold you the damn thing, they're not going to go to jail because they control the courts.
Yeah, you're collecting more than the value that you deserve, or the value of the damaged property.
Right.
Yeah, you're profiting. That's like larceny.
But on a mortgage or something like that, it's normally 3 years. They write bonds at 10 times at least, in some cases up to 35 times the amount of bonds against the value of that property. Supposedly for a mortgage it's only supposed to be 10, but in some of these insurance contracts, like the driver's license and like the certificate of title to the vehicle, some of these state insurance companies, they have it on the record that basically they can go up to 35 times the amount. Well, if you're getting less than 1%, okay, 1%, basically at 35 bonds, and they're getting 5% return on the bond, 1% is going into your account, so you're getting 35% per year deposited into your account. So at the end of 3 years, you've got the full value of that car, that property, or whatever in your account. But it's in your dead man's account. That's what's supposed to be paying the taxes. That's how all this stuff is supposed to be prepaid. It's not really prepaid. You have to go and get it out of the dead man's account, the coffin, the graveyard. But you have to have your estate EIN over your person because he really died either at the age of 21 or at the age of 25. When you were supposed to wake up, he was supposed to die. The dream, the nightmare, was supposed to go away when you wake up.
Patrick, I have a question.
Okay.
My foreign grantors trust, it's not, I have to pay taxes on it. They said I have to fill out a 1120F form. Should I just close it out and start over, or what should I do?
They what? Say what you said again.
The 98 number, the foreign trust.
Yeah.
It's not tax exempt. They told me, I got the confirmation letter. They told me I need to fill out a 1120F form.
You haven't transferred anything out of it yet.
Okay.
Why are you saying it's tax exempt?
No, I gave the lady the information. She filled it out and she sent it back to me. And I didn't understand why I had to pay taxes on it.
Well, you haven't got anything out of it yet, right? So why would you have to pay any taxes?
Okay.
I got mine back in 2010 or 2009. I haven't filled out any of their damn forms because I haven't got anything.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Until you get something, why would you fill out a form?
I don't know. Yeah,
because it's scare tactics. That's their whole damn shooting match out of the IRS, is to scare you into 99% of this fraud that they're operating under, getting you to pay taxes for them, for the corporations.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's anything to come out, basically you would turn around and you would do it under your estate EIN, and you would come in as the executor, processing that taxes out of the dead man's hand. He's the one that owes the taxes, if anything, not you, the living. The dead is always supposed to support the living. They're underground. We're above ground. The ground supports what's above ground. I think that's the way it works.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay? Keep it simple like that.
Okay.
I mean, you should be able to explain something like that to a judge in a court case, and he can't contradict that.
Right.
You go off on some other damn tangent, and basically, yeah, he'll get you into a trap, and basically you'll cut your own throat.
Oh, okay. So just don't fill out the form, just leave it like this.
Yeah, but you basically say, hey, I'm standing above ground. what's below ground is supposed to support me. I'm not standing in quicksand here. So basically, my dead man's hand, my more domain accounts, they're the ones that are supposed to be making the payment. And I am the executor over those more domain accounts, and I'm ordering them to make the payment and also to terminate them because they're in violation of the more domain statutes. Throw that at them, and basically that'll shut them right up. And then if they continue on, say, okay, we're going to take this to the federal warden, allotment warden, federal district allotment warden, federal Indian chief, district Indian chief. And then we'll have it processed up to the Secretary of Interior, who basically is sitting there, basically overseeing along Homeland Security. Yeah, you get Homeland Security on your side now if you operate with the Department of Interior. Any other questions?
Yeah, Patrick, you bring out the concept of trust patents here, and you say that it's not really defined in the statutes or the dictionaries. Can you give us your...
I didn't say statutes. I said in the dictionaries.
Right. And can you give us an idea of... I understand what a trust is supposed to be.
It's just an allotment.
It's an allotment.
It's a patent of land or of assets that were patented to you, allotted to you. That's what a patent is.
Okay.
And it's being held in trust.
Okay. So
and see, they are the trustee, but then that's why it's called a trust patent.
Okay.
But it's just an allotment. Your allotment, just like what the Indians, the same scenario there. They basically get an allotment for the oil wells that are on their land.
Okay.
Or in their tribal area.
So the patent is just the record of the allotment.
Right.
Which
it's
is being held
recorded.
in trust. Yes, which is being held in trust.
The registration, yeah. All patents have to be registered.
Good. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions out there? I mean, basically, I think this is pretty simple.
It is. I mean, it's hard to come up with questions because I read the thing and I pretty much understand it.
And then basically you make reference to the statute showing all this.
Oh, yeah.
And you do something like that, and basically they have no, you could put the damn references out there that I put, but basically you use those in reserve, okay?
Yep.
If this document, basically that I sent in, 2-page letter, and then basically my cover sheet addressing that now after the chief district judge as the chief federal district allotment warden, I gave him his marching orders.
Mm.
Well, what needed to be done? He needs to review my letter. If he finds anything additional, then he needs to do a further investigation. To do a further investigation, he would have to come and talk to me, or have somebody come and talk to me.
Right.
But if he's satisfied, then he turns around and writes the letter off to the Secretary of the Interior for the final official approval. The judge does not make the approval. He just records the facts that he is satisfied with the facts. He's a fact finder. And we're supposed to be the pathfinder. and we found our damn treasure. X marks the spot with your signature as the Allottee.
Okay. So we just need to get to work, get our EINs, and get this form prepared and submit it.
And understood.
Yes.
Most all of you are of age, but you need to complete the major portion of being competent, having the understanding of what's going on here.
Right.
And that's what I've been trying to preach for years out here, is to get that competency and the understanding about the monetary system and how this system out here is being operated. It's not that complicated when you understand it. These guys over on that banking side are not mental giants, okay?
No.
Hell, take a look at it. Was George Bush a mental giant? He was a babbling idiot.
Yeah.
Even his father was a mental idiot. Just a damn banker. That's all he knew. He didn't know anything about anything else. And then their grandfather, Prescott, was a damn traitor. And then the Bushes were nothing more than bank robbers.
Mm-hmm.
They proved that when they took down the World Trade Center and ripped off $160 billion worth of gold out of the place.
Wow.
And they've been running drugs and everything else out here. That's what most of the time people get in trouble is because they get out here and they're running competition with these guys.
Right. Yeah, you're not allowed to rob your money back.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you go out and you apply to sell drugs and you're willing to pay the taxes, basically, I don't think they would stop you.
Mm.
Because now you would have the country protecting you. That when these rogue outfits are out here running the drugs and everything, yeah, they've got more power, Blackwater and everything else, to come after you. And what do they come after you with? 90% of the time, it's because you're not paying taxes. So if you pay the taxes, basically, they can't do a damn thing to you. Even though they're trying to claim it's illegal, basically, you've got them in a quandary because they're doing it constantly.
Yeah, the Bushes, they stole Noriega's drug money out of. They went down to Panama and closed all his banks and took all his money too.
Yeah, they've done quite a bit of cartel thievery and everything else.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions out here? I'm back on this topic of getting your EINs, the bank, the estate, and the trust, and basically getting this into the warden to get your allotments. Walk like an Indian.
Right.
And see, that's what basically Moses had to do was walk like an Egyptian to get his assets out of Egypt.
Is there any link between Admiralty and the Indian thing too? I was just thinking of that. I mean, we know we're princes on the land. We're the sovereignty of the land, and that has a lot to do with the Department of the Interior to go along with being an Indian.
In a roundabout way, yes. Okay, but basically, you don't have to address all that. Okay.
Right, but it's good to know. Okay, it's not
supplemental
really
information, supplemental items that basically will give you more of a substantiation if basically they come to you and talk to you about this. Okay?
Right.
Anybody else?
I guess not, Patrick. You've explained it pretty well. Very well. And we've got to do it.
Yeah, I think this basically should pull it all together and basically people get this in, and I think that this will be brought out very shortly.
Right. And your explanations have really clarified it, so I feel a whole lot more comfortable if someone calls on me to explain it.
Yeah, and see, now you've gone in and basically you put your claim in, and you're dead in the water in commerce.
Right.
So that's why the 3-day rule comes in. Now you're under the care of the warden. If he doesn't comply, he doesn't want to be your caretaker when you come of age and understanding.
Right.
Because it's a lot of paperwork that they're going to have to do. They'd rather do the paperwork all in one swell swoop, get you out of the system. In other words, I mean, like you've got traffic tickets or something like that, send them up to them and basically have them go against the state. Okay, now they're going to have to fill out 1099s and all these other forms, taxing forms, to process the funds in and out of the accounts.
Yep.
So they would rather do it in one swell swoop, get you out of the system, and then basically that's one less person they have to worry about.
Good.
Because you're supposed to be a freed man upon the land. You're supposed to take care of your own responsibilities now. Okay? Any other questions?
I guess not, Patrick.
Okay.
That sounds like a wrap. Thank you very much.
Yeah, go ahead and call tonight then. Okay, talk to you later.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, good night. Bye.